I don't know if you've done any other trekking, but having just recently been informed about what the Everest Base Camp looks like, it is quite different. So on Kilimanjaro, on all of the routes, there are no shower facilities as far as I'm aware. You are camping. This is wild camping. So imagine if you're like myself living in Scotland, that you are camping somewhere in the Highlands, away from civilization. So no showers. The difference is that we got hot water, but just because the porters prepped it, so it was only available at certain times. There are toilets, public toilets in campsites, but you can imagine the state of those when you think that, for example, on our team there were 13 of us, but if you take the hikers aside, there were 6 guides and 50 odd porters. At a smaller camp, I saw probably 5-6 of these wooden huts, which were the toilets. Sometimes they were bigger, sometimes they were smaller. But imagine all of these people using these, and this is just our group. Usually at a camp, you would have 3, 4, 5, if not more, groups of campers of various sizes, of course, but you can just get the idea of the scale of how many people are using these facilities. Yeah, so that's what you get as standard. When I was booking my package with Alteza, I had the option to choose a portable toilet, to rent a portable toilet, and to rent a portable shower as well. These options are not available on one of the routes. I believe it's the Marangu route, because on that route you stay. You stay in huts and you have to use public facilities. I think the reason for that is that it's the national park regulations. So you're not allowed to take your, to rent your portable stuff, your private stuff, which was really the main deciding factor why I went for the Lamosho route, together with the extra day for acclimatizing. So like I mentioned, I was thinking of taking a shower. I actually did reserve a shower initially, until I thought about it a couple of weeks before heading off, as I was, assembling all my gear, and I thought, will I really want to get undressed at a campsite? Because there was no chance, the tents, you would have seen them in the videos, they're small tents. No way I would just walk from my tent into the shower. I thought it's really unlikely that they would set it up this way. So at some point I would have to get completely undressed at a camp or stay in a swimsuit. Either way, being pretty much naked, to take a shower, which is meant to be hot, but rather unlikely, probably more like lukewarm water, then to have to get dressed in this external sort of cabin, whatever it was going to be. I knew it was a pop-up shower, so you can get an idea that it's not going to be luxurious windproof surroundings. So I actually cancelled the shower, and I had seen no showers. Actually, none of our team had it. So like I mentioned, we did get hot water brought in by the porters. The porters always would rush in front of us. That's one of those impressive things, how these guys have all these kilos of weight on their heads and shoulders, but they're still way in front of you, because they have to be there to set the camp up. Then we would see, as we got close to the camp, we would usually see porters with buckets heading against us, if you will, because they were heading to the water source. And then they would be heating the water. Partly the water was being prepared, of course, for I imagine for cooking, for us to use for our hot drinks, but there was always hot water available as well to wash your hands, brush your teeth. And what I was doing, taking some water, usually once the hiking was done, take some water in a plastic bowl that was available just by the hot water supply, take it to my tent to use it for washing. And I know that some people just were happy to use wet wipes. I used a combination of wet wipes for whatever I could use them for, but I like to wash my face and specific bits of my body with the hot water and with soap that I brought, of course, with me. We all accepted that we will not be properly clean until we have that shower in a hotel. So we did what we could, and I guess, my first question actually at lunchtime, our first ever lunchtime was, right, a question for you guys, probably for the ladies, but anyone can chip in. What are you doing about the hair? Having short hair, it should be easy, but also if you have a Central European disposition like myself, this hair lasts a day, maybe a day and a half. It needs regularly washed. So that's why I actually asked Sigrid on day 2 if she would do braids for me, which she did, which you will see in my videos I kept for the rest of the trip. Very grateful for those. Not the most comfortable thing to sleep in, but they were so tightly done, which I was grateful for because they kept all for the rest of the trip. So that's the washing side, and on that topic, or the hygiene side also, do remember to put sunscreen on your body. It was on day 2 that I noticed, or even maybe at end of day 1. Yeah, I think at day 2, because it was a bit longer hiking, I had been pulling up my sleeves and I forgot to put cream on my arms, and I was burnt. I didn't feel it happen. It was only at the end of the night when I saw that my forearms were red. On the face, what most of us, I think, struggled with was the nose. You just end up sniffing a lot because it's cold and, you get a runny nose. You end up sniffing, whether you're touching your nose, whether you're using a tissue, whatever. That got really dry for me. And of course, lips get very dry as well. I discovered on a couple of days in that I had Vaseline, and other people spotted it as well. And it was, I could have made money on that product, I'm telling you. But for sure, especially, you have to put sunscreen on every day, but especially summit day, keep putting it on because your face just burns. You would have seen it on my report video from the summit day. I was just red all over, and sunglasses, very important then as well. Okay, so that's the washing, cleaning side covered. So now the interesting part, which is the toilets. So again, porters did an amazing job. I think I noted that in the Lava Tower video, day 3 report, how we arrived at Lava Tower for lunch and the toilets were set up. It was fantastic because the conditions to just go to do a bush pee, as it was referred to, which is just to run behind a rock or a bush if there is one, to do your business. The more you were getting, the higher you were getting, the less comfortable, private it was getting. So to show up at that camp and to see that our toilets were set up was just fantastic. But what is my toilet? So that's one thing that I did rent and I never cancelled. As you see on the photos, they were mini tents with a zip, and inside it there was a portaloo that you could actually sit on, quite comfortable. And what happened, that moved with the camp. Every tent had a number on it, which was your number, and then every toilet tent had a number on it as well, and that stayed with you, so you knew that toilet will always belong to you. The toilets, like I say, moved from camp to camp, and they were attended to by the designated porters. They made sure, I could see them go into those toilets on regular basis to check if they were in good condition, to check if the toilet paper was still available, because that was provided as well. So never any issues. Of course, they're not super powerful flushy toilets, but they did the job, and you felt comfortable enough. For our conditions, for the company that we went with, Altessa, the requirement was that you can have a toilet to yourself, or it can be shared by yourself and 2 other people. So the maximum usage was 3 people. You can probably imagine why. What about the public toilets? I could refer you to a couple of guys who had chosen the all-natural route of not having, I think they were the only guys who didn't have access to a portable toilet. So they had to use the public facilities. And these guys were also documenting the experience. They were then rating which camp had the best toilet. So if you want to hear their reviews, and if you want to go down the extreme route and do it like the porters do it, give me a shout. I'll ask them if they want their details shared with you, no problem. And of course, then there's the final part, which is no facilities at all, which was usually the case in between camps. So there were days when we when we hiked, for example, for 4 hours, often happened, hiked for 4 hours, 5 hours. So that was the break between actual access to any form of a toilet. So yes, that's when you did the bush pee. Easier, as you can imagine, for men. For the ladies, hey, we just all accepted we will know one another better than some of our friends know us. It was just accepted from day one. But as a team, privacy was just respected. If we saw someone walking away, they were left to go and do their business. Because the problem was that we were all taking Diamox, some of us smaller portions, I was taking half portions, some people were taking full portions. And one of the side effects of Diamox, whilst it helps you with acclimatization and with the reduced oxygen levels in the air, it also makes you pee. And the other thing is that they tell you to drink a lot of water because your body is going through a lot of effort. It's important to hydrate. So the combination of those two did make us want to go more than we would usually do, probably. So that is a challenge, and you just have to be prepared for it. I heard of some of the ladies having shiwis with them, and they never use them. They said they actually are too complicated, too uncomfortable to use. So secondary opinion, I've never seen one, I've never used one, but from what I heard from them, don't bother. Just prep yourself that it's gonna be a very down-to-earth experience, put it that way. Hey, if you have any questions, anything that I haven't covered on this specific topic, give me a shout. Happy to answer them, happy to cover them in a separate video if there's enough demand. Just let me know. And I can even give you contacts for the people in the know if you're taking the specific route. Again, I just wanted to remind you that I did Kilimanjaro for charity, for VSA, a Scottish charity that supports local community, just live their lives to the fullest and overcome adversity, whatever adversity it may be. If you found this video useful, please follow the link below and drop a couple of pounds, dollars, shillings, whatever it is that you have, euros, if you can. Right, see you in the next video, and let me know if you need me to cover any specific topics as well. Ciao!